Annyeong and welcome to another episode of Go Billy Q&A. This is a show where you can ask questions to me about Korea or Korean or anything and get an answer to it. This week we have a question coming from Ken Jensen on YouTube who asks, "Whenever I hear Korean, it's hard to translate or understand what's being said, but when I see the words it's easier. What are some ways to improve my listening skills?" Really, the only way to improve your listening skills in a language is exposure and time. You're going to need to be exposed to the language for much longer before you'll be able to understand it more easily. And there aren't really any shortcuts to doing this either, because your Korean listening is connected to your overall Korean abilities. This means that if you're able to speak Korean well, you're also going to understand Korean well. However, there are a few extra tips that I can give you for improving your listening. First, work on improving your speaking skills. Now, I know speaking isn't the same as listening, but when you're speaking at a beginner level, it's common for Koreans to speak to you more slowly and simply than they would to another Korean. This is similar to how you might speak slowly and simply to someone who's learning your native language. And if you can't get Koreans to speak with you at a more regular, faster level, then you're not going to be able to learn the regular Korean that they use with each other. And you can improve your speaking skills by speaking more. Speak as much Korean as possible. And also, improving your speaking can help your listening, because most of the time, if you didn't understand something that someone said, it's going to be because you did not yet learn that grammar form or vocabulary word that they're using. Of course, there will still be many times where you simply didn't understand what they said because you're not used to hearing that word, but the majority of the time is going to be because you have not yet learned that concept. So the more Korean you study and the more you practice speaking, the better you'll be able to speak, the more you'll know, and as a result, the better you'll be able to listen. But another tip is also to read things out loud, including things that you read from other sources or when you're writing Korean yourself. And when you're reading something out loud, pay more attention to what you're reading than exactly how you're reading it. Don't focus so much on your own pronunciation because you're still learning, but instead focus on the words that you're hearing as you're saying them. You can practice in this way hearing grammar forms and vocabulary and phrases, so then when you hear a Korean say it, you'll be a little bit more likely to understand it for yourself, even though you've only been reading it in your own voice. Unfortunately, these tips sound like a lot of work, and they are. Learning Korean really does take a long time, especially if you're planning to get to a level where you can understand everything that's being said, or say anything that you want to. But just remember that the more that you're exposed to Korean, the faster you'll be able to improve. So it's really about exposure and time. And that's the end of the episode. Remember to also send me your own questions if you have them, either through here on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or anywhere you can find me, and you might see them featured in the next video. And also remember that new videos are posted here every week, so if you haven't done so already, click subscribe and follow along. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!